Please welcome the star of Body of Proof, Delany. Yeah! Welcome. Great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you, Derek. Thank you.
So, Dana, so good to have you on the show. Do you like playing a medical examiner?
I do. Yeah, I like the science of it. I like all
So
that
much
stuff.
so she told me to call her doctor throughout the whole show.
Is it weird that there's a small part of me that's always had a fascination with being a medical examiner?
No, well, you have to do all the autopsies when you study, right?
When we
Well,
study,
have
but then the goal, of course, in the practice of medicine is to not go down that pathway. But it is amazing in the work that you do on the show how realistic it is.
Yeah, well, we have really good special effects people, which helps. But yeah, I mean, as you know, once you cut that body open, you can see exactly how the person lived.
You know, so part of being a medical examiner is figuring out cause of death. But what if death were not permanent? Let's take a look at this.
A neuroscience student who recently passed away is making plans to come back. The 23-year-old woman sadly succumbed to brain cancer this January and chose to have her body cryogenically frozen. Putting her faith in science, she wants doctors to resuscitate her once they find a cure. But opposers of cryogenics say that freezing human remains is economically and ethically irresponsible and could lead science down a dangerous path. So the question is, should we be freezing human remains for a second chance at life, or should we put this practice on ice?
Wow. So, of course, the theory here is that using liquid nitrogen, a freezing agent, you can literally take the body down to, this is negative 320 degrees. That's cold. If anyone's ever felt negative 320 degrees, it's really cold.
Talk about brain freeze.
And to show everyone how quickly, you know, this is your brain, this is your brain.
Yeah.
On drugs, they do the eggs
This is your
thing.
brain
Well,
on
this is
liquid
your
nitrogen.
brain when frozen with liquid nitrogen. Oops.
Whoa.
Just kidding.
All right, show us the brain.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So
That is your brain frozen on liquid nitrogen. So
that was fast. So the idea, I guess, is you freeze your body right after you die, and then hopefully a couple hundred years from now, the technology is better. They can cure whatever killed you, bring you back to life, and then you get a second chance. That'd be kind of cool. Wake up in the 24th century.
So
Man.
you're game. You
Finally.
would do it?
Yeah.
Drew, would you do it?
Well, I guess.
Dana?
I mean,
No.
No. Why not?
Well, what everybody
not? I mean,
else you love is not here. Why would you want to be around without?
well,
people
freeze
you love?
everybody
It'd be
then.
cool to be in this, like the
Freeze. Put the whole
interesting when
family in a
women
deep
don't
freeze.
want
You could finally drive your jet car that we were supposed to have by now.
So
Kinda
there's
like
a natural
caveman.
cycle to life, and I think you have to respect that cycle.
Yeah.
Well, this is certainly a very interesting phenomenon. Joining us now on the phone to help explain more about cryonics is Max Moore. He's with the Alcor Life Extension Foundation. That's where neuroscience student Kim Schwoze had her body frozen in hopes of being revived one day in the future. Now, Max, we're sitting here talking about some of the issues with cryonics. Can you just go through the science quickly in terms of how it works?
Yes, immediately after clinical death has been declared, we immediately start the stabilization portion and immediately beginning cooling, the idea being to minimize the damage to the cells as quickly as possible. Then we will transport the patients to our facility here in Arizona, and then the surgical part of the procedure begins, where we access major blood vessels, wash out as much blood and other cellular fluids as possible, and replace those with a cryoprotectant solution, which is essentially medical-grade antifreeze, if you like. And then we gradually reduce the temperature to minus 196 C or minus 320 Fahrenheit and store the patient for as long as necessary at that temperature. And a century from now, they will be in the same condition in which they started.
And I think people need to understand you can't just freeze the body, because what Max is describing is the need to get as much water out as possible, because if you freeze water, then it expands. That's just not going to work. Max, thank you so very much for joining us.